Hello everyone, so we're back with another round, so this is round 3 now. We have missed a game yesterday because one of the players has overslept, so Andrea's gone the win. And I will now be showing pairings for round 3. So rounds are as follows, so it's going to be Andrew versus Sam, Alex versus Rob, which is what we're seeing today. And last round is me versus Jordan. Yeah. We have music in the background today, so let me know if it's too loud or anything, so I can obviously adjust that at any time. And I will show the deck. Oh, not this. So Alex is playing the Narukami deck he was playing previously, which is the Vanquisher build. Nothing has changed from the previous time, same old build. The one thing I mentioned last time, the one unique card you can maybe mention in the deck is the Death Side, which lets you Soul Blast those Phoenixes. This deck will be getting support in the upcoming set, and it will be one of the better decks, I think, from what we've seen in the Japanese results. Now for Rob. Rob has also taken the deck he's been using this tournament, which is the Rising Nova. He's been using it out throughout the whole tournament. Nothing much to say about it. Same thing as always, Rising Nova copying Ball Spike in the double rare to move those force markers and getting those multi-attacks going. I will now let the players know that they're good to go, because they should be ready now. I'm not quite sure who's actually starting this time around, because I did not see the mulligans once again. But yeah. I think Narukami might be favored in this matchup, but it does strongly depend on whoever is going first, as there was in the Aquaforce matchup, because the Spike Brothers does have that explosiveness on the grade 3, where they could pressure the Narukami player to discard some of those combo pieces they will need for the multi-attacks. And it seems Rob is going first, and classic start from Rob, riding the grade 3 searcher, first drawing for the starter, then checking top 5. Looking for those grade 3s to call on the grade 3 turn, or maybe he needs Rising Nova to ride. As it is quite important that you do ride it, otherwise you'll be stuck on other grade 3s that you rather would call onto the rear guard circle. What else is there to say? My commentary is going to be kind of lazy, as I did just woke up very recently, so I'm still waking up as this goes on. And Alex is also riding the grade 3 searcher, riding Mighty Ball Dragoon, grabbing a quick shield from the starter and drawing a card, then checking the top 5. Narukami deck also has the grade 3 searchers are also important in the Narukami deck, as they get you the Jaggies. As we can see, Alex has just grabbed one, which lets you extend obviously a lot on your grade 3 turn, and keep plussing with to the hand, so they can maintain the hand size while being able to multi-attack. Discarding the quick shield for the Mighty Ball Dragoon. Just checking everything, making sure that the webcam quality is good, because we had some issues with this previously. Alex now attack for 8. Rob should be eating this in case he has the grade 2. Alex triggering a draw trigger, which is obviously great just for the extra power and the draw, but it also lets him have a null for the first grade 3 turn from the Spike Brother player. So if there's any big double crit columns coming, he's obviously able to guard that. Notes play a really significant role in the current meta, being more force focused. When you go second, having the null in hand is really important, so that you're not getting killed by like one big swing with maybe multiple crits. A deck that I can think of especially that does that right now is like Spikes, Kagero obviously, and in the upcoming sim we're gonna have the Regalia, which has like the small OTK by restunning the grade 2 and the grade 3 for like 5 to 6 crit. Going back to the game, we can see Rob called another grade 3 searcher, and I think he has missed once again, which could signify that his hand does already have all the grade 3s he needs. Or it could just mean that Rob is getting quite unlucky right now. I'm obviously going to try to remember any of these points after the game, so I can ask Rob, seeing how it actually impacted him in this game by missing both the grade 3 searchers. Now Rob will attack for I think it's 18 because the Great One only gets 5k when you call something by an ability. So that'd be 18. Rob drive checking a Juggernaut. Alex will be eating 1 point of damage, which is another Mighty Ball Dragoon. Yeah, and that's it for Rob's turn. So not very aggressive. Here Rob will be obviously exploding on his grade 3 turn by calling his hand down, copying all the effects and trying to move those force markers around. Vanquish is quite similar in that sense, where they explode on grade 3. The right from Alex is Zuton, which is a 9k, so it will be a trigger to pass. Yeah, but as I was mentioning, the Narukami deck is a lot more like the Spike deck, when they explode along on grade 3, getting all those multi-attacks and all those draws. Beforehand, they are kind of vulnerable, I guess, if you could, which is why Rob's first grade 3 turn will be quite important, to take out those combo pieces before Alex's grade 3 turn, so Alex does not have any combos to do. Rob riding a Rising Nova, and a SP one at that, so that's quite nice. Getting both those force markers, obviously. Move the mic a bit. Now, the most important pieces we want to see here is the Double Wear grade 3 and the Bull Spike, so that the Rising Nova is copying both the best effects for the deck. And I guess apart from that, seeing maybe some Juggernauts or some Brackies for the extra power would be quite nice. So here comes the Juggernaut, getting an extra 10k, making that 33k and 2 critical column. Oh. On the other side we have a Bull Spike, so that's already one good effect to copy for the Rising Nova effect. Slight lag from Rob. And I think that's it. I think once again we're not going to see the double grade 3. Maybe Rob will be considering upping the number from 2 to 3 after the tournament, just to see a bit more consistent. Alex, I think, is asking about the effect of the Rising Nova. It isn't that popular of a deck. Luckily there's nothing to retire for the Bull Spike effect for Alex, so he will not be minusing. Okay, comes the Wonder Boy down, bouncing back to the Bracky and getting an extra 5k. So that will also be a 36k column after moving the force marker around. So the first swing comes on, is the 33 to critical swing from the Juggernaut. Obviously the first attack will be the one on the force markers, so that we're not wasting soul by having to bounce it back to the circle that it was already on beforehand. Alex is considering if you should guard this or not. I think it's okay to maybe let the first one hit, as all the numbers will be quite similar here, and getting a trigger will make all the other columns a lot easier to guard. And Alex will be eating this, damaging a voltage and another draw trigger, so here comes the defensive trigger, making this turn a lot more easier to guard, as now those 33k columns will only be a 15k to guard instead of a 25k. Comes the Vanguard, which should be 26-36 after the markers move. Alex probably having to drop 25k shield here for 2 to pass. 26, 34, 44, sorry, 40k, 30k shield for 2 to pass. Otherwise this could be a game if Rob sees 1 critical. Maybe the no will be coming down here, since we do know Alex has 1 in hand from the first drive check. Asking about the power on the other column, so he might have a hard time guarding the last column and deciding whether he wants to be discarding any combo pieces right now, or maybe taking a chance and letting this go through. Alex drops a 20k, which will make this a 39 to Rob's 36. Alex ideally should be looking to drop another 10k down. Making the attack 2 to pass. Dropping an extra 15k shield, still 2 to pass if I'm correct, so it should be 19, 24, 34, 54 to Rob's 26, 36, that would be 2 to pass currently. I think this is already fine, but Alex might consider dropping an extra 5k just to guarantee the no pass. No, but I think we are going to be staying at 2 to pass. Twin Drive being the grade 2 that lets you grab a grade 3 from deck, and another Bull Spike. Oh, I see. We have had a mistake on the stream. I'm going to be editing that very quickly. It seems the thumbnail for the live stream is incorrect, so that's good to know. But now going back to game, Rob doing his last attack. The attack didn't go through. And from what I can see by the dices, there was no triggers on the second drive check either, so this will just be a 36 with 2 critical, so Alex might consider going up to 5. Nope. I think he'll be utilizing the trigger. Oh, that's a really good card because he gets to get those cards back in hand, back on field, so without any cost. Now, Vanguard race standing, we'll be seeing if Alex does have the Vanquisher to ride here, as riding a Jaggy is not as good and it will not let him draw as many cards, and as we see, that's not a Vanquisher. So this will be a big minus for him. Drawing a card of the XL2. As I'm going into YouTube Studio just to edit this live stream currently. So and yeah, Alex just reading the skill on the Jaggy, making sure which effects you can actually use, and the effect you can still use is the one to on attack, bind a card from hand, bind one of your opponent's rear guards and draw. The secondary effect, which is the one that lets you go to solo and draw a card, does require you however to have a Vanquisher Vanguard. So Alex will not be able to utilize that. Both the Phoenix should be coming down as there is 2 rear guards to bind. Will Alex use Choho's skill? Seems he has chosen against it. So maybe he doesn't feel that the bind is worth it. I'm not quite sure what I would do here. Since there is already 2 binds for the front row with both the Jaggies, so I guess binding the Wonder Boy might not be worth the Canna Blast. Alex now checking another Mighty Ball Dragoon, looking for the Vanquish, I would assume. Yep. Just in case the game does go into his next, and he does have the correct ride. Wonder Boy is looking to discard ideally another Phoenix, if he does have one in hand. Rob having, from what I can see, 6 cards in hand. I'm not confident if the Bull Spike effect was activated last time. And Alex is discarding the Grade 1 Extender for the Mighty Ball Dragoon skill. Even without the Vanquisher, we can see that the deck still is able to do some multi-attacks with cards like Choho. And hopefully Alex might have some more bind power with by finding a tutorial or not with by binding the tutorial with the Mighty Ball Dragoon. Here comes another Mighty Ball Dragoon. I think he might have missed. I would think so. I think Alex is just shuffling his deck right now. Yep, so the top 5 search has failed this time. I guess at this point he was just only looking for maybe a third Jaggy. First comes the Choho, obviously looking to restand that later, leaving an open column for which I assume both the Phoenix will be coming down. Rob checking damage and it's no trigger. One trigger would shut down Alex's turn here, so it is very risky for Alex. Activating Mighty Ball Dragoon skill, binding a Chitauri. I guess the Chitauri will be coming down onto the open column. Yep. And I wonder if we're going to see Phoenix this time around, or if the Phoenix will be coming down after the Vanguard swing. I think Alex just explaining to Rob the Chitauri effect, which is that when bound from hand, you get to call into the Rigard circle and it gets extra 10k power. Oh. Alex choosing to swing with the second Mighty Board here. Sorry, with the second Jaggy here, not Dragoon. I think I've been missaying that the whole time. Maybe choosing to call it into the other column. No, so based on that I assume maybe the Phoenix will be staying in dropped in that case. And yeah, soul charging for the grade 1. Now both Rob's grade 3s have been bound, so we will, but we do know that the Rob has the grade 2 that lets him search a deck for another grade 3. So he will definitely have something for the next turn. Now Alex checking the trigger checks, and then there's a draw trigger giving the power to Choho, which will obviously restand the end of the Vanguard's battle. Second check being the Phoenix. So Rob chose to no guard this from what I can see, checking 1 point of damage, which is a draw trigger. However, at this point I'm pretty sure both the attacks are over the 23k threshold. End of battle, the Vanguard attack, activating Choho's ability to restand them for a counter +1. And this will be a 24k column. And the Choho column being 26. I think Alex might be more inclined to attack with the Choho first, in case Rob does choose not to guard another attack and hits another trigger, which would make the Choho column not hit. Sorry, which will make the Chitauri column not hit. And Chitauri do having an on-hit effect to draw a card being quite nice. Yeah, so the Chitauri column swings first for 26. Rob will choose to guard, as the on-hit effect would let Alex draw another card. Another attack for 24. Will Rob choose to utilize the trigger? And he does by perfect guarding. I guess he did not want to go over the 3 damage threshold here. Now, Alex passing 10 back to Rob. I'm not quite sure what Alex's hand size is. We know one of his cards being Vanquisher, another one being a draw trigger, and a Phoenix. And I think there should still be a perfect guard, as we did not see it the 10 beforehand, the one from the 10-1 drive check. Oh, Rob rewriting another Rising Nova, making sure that there's more force markers that are moving around now. And we do know that Rob will be able to get this ball spike down onto the field by calling the grade 2. Which effect is to just counter +1, call a grade 3 out of deck, and I think it might get 10k and the grade 2 gets a boost. making one big column while still letting the Rising Nova player search for the grade 3 he will need to copy for the Rising Nova effect. Unless Rob has another bull spike in hand, I think he'll be calling a bull spike down. I think he does. So this will definitely be an all-out 10 from Rob being able to call down both the double rare, the lesson restand, and the bull spikes. There'll be 4 attacks coming, which I think will all be getting the double force marker effect. So that'll be making all the columns, I think, hit over the 40k threshold. And us only knowing that Alex does only have one snow in hand, from what we know at least, making guarding this turn quite difficult. So Alex might be having to eat one of these swings and hoping that he hits a defensive trigger. Now Rob calls down another grade 3 searcher. I am hoping that he's just looking for the bull spike and he does have one in hand, as this will make his previous call from the grade 2 maybe a bit questionable. Whether the bull, because I think the bull spike might hold more value than just the restand, just especially when having 2 force 1 markers to move around, obviously. Now hopefully we'll be seeing a bull spike from Zrob, as he's added the Juggernaut, I think, to hand. And he'll just be discarding the Juggernaut, and I assume the last card being the bull spike coming down. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's all of Zrob's hand, and I think this is one of the most ideal fields you'll be seeing from a Rising Nova player. I think it might be their best field without overcalling. Now Rob will obviously activate Rising Nova's effect to copy both the grade 3s. I think of Rob, I'm not sure how much soul does Rob have though. I think he might be just 1. So I guess the bull spike effect will not be able to... I guess he will not be able to activate the bull spike's effect to move all the markers around, which I think might give Alex a slightly higher chance to live this turn from what I originally thought he would have. So Rob will be probably restanding the bull spike on the double force 1 marker, so there'll still be 4 attacks coming this turn. 2 of them being currently critical too, but obviously we don't see the triggers yet, so that might change, making them be critical free. Which will obviously mean if Alex does not guard them, he will be pushed to 6 and the game will end. That's why the 3 damage threshold is kind of uncomfortable to be at. It's not as bad as 4, because it does give you some leniency with obviously the opponent having to see triggers. But you don't ever really want to rely on your opponents not seeing triggers is the issue. Yeah, Alex eating the first 2 damage swing, hoping for a defensive trigger. And there isn't any, so I'm not sure if Alex will be able to guard this turn. However, that was the biggest attack, so it did also make sense just to eat it. Now the Vanguard will attack, activating the double rare grade 3 skill to restand another rare guard. Obviously restanding the bull spike on the force markers. I think Alex is kind of in a tough spot with his hand right now. It would be a lot easier to judge if we can actually see the hand size. But we're not quite sure. I think he is forced to leave the null for the bull spike column, because obviously that will be coming with a booster for even larger number. And he's called down a Phoenix, making him 22 to Rob's currently 26. So that'll be 27. One pass. Oof. And here comes the trigger. Alex will have to see the heal in this case. Second check being the grade 1. And yeah, it's all come down to a heal trigger after Alex was not able to ride the Vanquish on his first grade 3. And that's the 6 damage going into game 2. So yeah, as we saw, the Alex obviously missing the Vanquisher's ride has led him to not be able to draw as many cards as he would want. And we saw a PG, a Vanquisher, and I think 2 5Ks in hand remaining. And also, as I mentioned before, both the decks are really explosive on grade 3. So whoever goes first does have a large advantage in this matchup, I would think. Rob obviously being a lot more lucky than yesterday with being able to actually finding those grade 3s to copy with the Rising Nova. While what we saw yesterday against Sam was him not really be able to utilize any of the power plays that his deck has, as he had no grade 3s to copy, so he was just swinging vanillas, and Sam was obviously able to take the advantage of that yesterday and take the games. This is the losers brackets match, so this will be deciding the 5th place if I'm correct, unless there will be some resistance, unless the resistance matters. We will see that after all the games are played out, as I will definitely be doing a short analysis probably on how the results should be looking. Now, both the players shuffling the deck, getting the hands ready again. Obviously the loser will decide whether he wants to go first or second, so we should be seeing the Vanquisher players going first and seeing how Rob is able to manage while going second, especially if he wants to keep some of those grade 3 in hand, possibly for the Rising Nova effect. Alex mulliganing 3, so probably looking for 1 grade, and Rob will be mulliganing. Oh, I think that's 2, so I think there should be all the grades in hand. Rob only mulliganing 1, so might have been a bit greedy and kept both, maybe 2 grade 3s in hand. It's what I would have to guess. So yeah. The extra grade 3 he might have kept, which is obviously something I'm assuming might cost him the game here if the Vanquisher player does get to pop off on his grade 3s and then obviously be able to push those multiple attacks. Now Alex is starting as we predicted. Writing a Mighty Ball Dragoon, drawing a card from the starter. Then he'll be checking the top 5. Hopefully this time finding the grade 3 he's looking for. As last game, being able to only find the dragon, the Jaggy on his first turn, did make him miss right. Cool, we're riding a grade 1 as well. I'm pretty sure that does. So he'll be able to grab the quick shield from the starter, then activating the grade 1 skill, which is to discard a card and draw a card, so I assume the quick shield will be discarded here, yeah. And drop exchanging that for an extra card in hand. That is pretty much the only use the quick shield is really seeing, which is as like a discard filter. As the 5k shield isn't really significant enough for you to consider keeping it in hand. Rob then choosing to call down another grade 1, which is the grade 3 searcher. Checking the top 5 and hitting the double rare grade 3. So Alex will be getting rushed a bit here, making him either choose to which will push him to more damage early game. Unless he chooses to discard maybe some of the combo pieces that he ideally has in hand as guard power. So I think this is quite ideal for Rob, just to rush a bit early and then try to finish the game on his first grade 3. I doubt we'll be seeing more than this. Yeah. Rob discarding, I think, another of the grade 1 Bushiroad for the grade 3 search. So exchanging the grade 1 for the double rare, and then a drive check revealing a Juggernaut. Alex damage checking a Phoenix, which isn't actually that horrible, because if he does get to heal it out, it still goes back to drop and he's able to utilize it and call that as an extra attacker. Now the second attack will be coming in, and Alex will choose to eat it, hitting a draw trigger. So obviously getting pushed a bit more early, but getting the extra card back in hand from the second damage is good. And it hopefully lets him draw into whatever he's looking for. Riding Death Sight. Pretty sure the retire effect is only on Rigard, so he's just going to be swinging 9. To the Vanguard. Drive Trigger check being Jaggy, so hopefully Alex does have a Vanquisher, or we will be seeing him riding that again. Rob checking damage being a Wonder Boy and showing off a cool little mecha toy. Top does collect a lot of Gundams and stuff, so he would definitely have a cool collection to show if anyone would ever be interested in that. Rob riding Braki, so no affecting Vanguard. And calling another grade 3 searcher. So he's really able to filter his deck for any of the grade 3, so he'll be needing for the big push on his 3. However, he missed this time around, which could mean two things. Either his hand already has a certain amount of grade 3s, or there just wasn't any in the top 5. I guess the third choice would be maybe there was a Juggernaut, but he chose to keep it in deck. Just shuffling the deck. So that would be a 16k column, so Alex might be inclined to eat the Vanguard swing. Hope for a defensive trigger maybe, so he does not have to guard the second attack. Rob checking a Wonder Boy on this drive check, and Alex checking another Phoenix. So he will now need to see 2 heal triggers to be able to get those back into the drop. Now another attack coming for 16. And Alex chooses to guard this. I think if Alex maybe chose to eat this, this could signalize that he might be going for a kill on his next turn. Or at least his hand might have so many combo pieces that he doesn't really want to discard anything. Now actually getting the correct ride this time around, riding Draconic Vanquisher. I'm pretty sure that's just a proxy for an Excel 2. Oh. Yeah, he's actually chosen Excel 2. Drawing the extra card. Oh. Need draw 2 though. Now that would be broken. I guess Alex has chosen to show Rob the top card of his deck, as he knows it now as well, just to keep it a bit more fair. In those situations, I would recommend that the player settle it down. Like if that was me, I would just choose to shuffle the deck, so then the card is unknown to both of us, but I think either solution is fine as long as both players agree to it. Now the Jaggy coming down, well, obviously knew Alex had at least one as he drove check one last turn. Oh, there's 2 extenders this turn. So now we'll be seeing how many Chittoris Alex has in that hand. As that is the best thing you would be looking to bind here. Oh. I want the... Oh, he's just chosen to call one of the extenders onto the regard circle. Which I think does mean there's just bare choices in hand, so I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 Chitores here. I don't think this is correct. Unless he's just calling another grade 1 as a booster. Well, we shall see. So activating Jaggy's effect. I'm assuming binding a grade 1, which will be coming behind a grade 2. Binding a Chitore and overcalling that. I am very, very confused. Which will let him draw a card. Oh, I think has he forgotten to draw a card? Alex has a really bad memory to this card. He always forgets to draw a card of the Jaggy, as we've seen in his previous game. He might have even forgot to draw game 1, which is why his hand was so low. Oh. I've messaged them to let them know that Alex should be drawing an extra card here, as the extra draw is mandatory. I think they might be reading it right now. Unless he actually has drawn a card, and it is my bad. But I didn't see any cards coming down. I think Alex is just forgetting the effect. Pretty sure there's just a slight confusion, because obviously I am what is happening? I mean, Alex has already drawn an extra card. Are they repeating the game state here? I think they just reversed back to the game state, so Alex does draw an extra card. I don't think that's important, since just drawing the extra card would have put the game state in the same position that they're in right now. But I guess just to clarify it to everyone that's watching. That makes 2 cards bound. This will make the 3rd card, which will activate Vanquisher continuous 10k to the front row, making this attack also be able to hit. I'm still very confused about why the grade 1 was overcalled on the Excel circle. But yeah. Alex calling another Chitore, so as I predicted at the beginning of the turn. Alex once again missing that there was a 10k buff. Alex missing the extra 10k, so the attack will not hit. We saw this misplace from him at the when we saw him play game 1 as well against Andrew. I think this just comes from him not remembering that he's bound an opponent's card and not be. But yeah, now the Vanguard will be swinging. Rob choosing not to guard. Sadly, the voltage attack has been wasted, as Alex has forgotten about the extra 10k. Rob hitting another draw trigger for defensive, that's quite nice. Oh, Rob already hit the defensive beforehand, that's why the 19 didn't hit. That's my bad, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Yes, the 19 attack then wasn't able to hit as Rob was on 20k, as I assumed the first Jaggy swing went through and gave Rob the defensive trigger. I must have just missed it, I guess. So yeah, Rob guarding first Jaggy, Rob chooses to guard the other Jaggy, and yeah, Rob chooses to guard the second Jaggy as well, denying Alex the extra draw that I think he's after right now. And I think we might be seeing Rob going for kill this turn, considering his hand is just crafted for this turn. Having the double rare grade 3 and hopefully a Rising Nova to ride. Yep, so riding the Rising Nova. Getting both the force markers obviously. Then we know there is the double rare grade 3 in hand. So he'll just be looking for Bull Spike. Seems to be a slight confusion about something. But yeah, Rob just getting both the force markers. This time around there is enough salt to move it all around, so all the columns should be getting the force 2 and the force 1 effect. Calling out a Juggernaut. Getting an extra 10k on that column. Obviously we'll definitely be seeing the double rare grade 3 come down. And there's a Bull Spike as well. Yep, so Rob has all the combo pieces he will need for this turn. And I'm pretty sure most his hands will be gone for this, so this might be one final push from Rob. And I guess this just down to what Alex has actually drawn off the Jaggies. Activating Rising Nova's effect, copying both the double rare grade 3 and the Bull Spike. Rob choosing not to boost, as he'll be restunning the Juggernaut. And I think Alex once again will be eating it, hoping for some defensive triggers, and here is one. Yeah, so we see one defensive, Alex being now on 22. Making the rest of the turns slightly easier to guard. Now the Vanguard will attack. I wonder if Rob will actually choose to use the Bull Spike effect, and he does. So I assume there is at least 2 more soul in there, so that he's able to move the force markers at least twice more, as he has 2 more attacks coming after this. This will make Rob be just 23 if I'm correct. So 15k will be 2 to pass. And I think that's what we're gonna see here. I think Alex might be just double checking powers, from what I understand. And yeah, here comes the 15. Rob is pausing to do some risky plays, so if maybe the first drive check was a trigger, I think Rob might be willing to try it out. But the drive checks being Wonder Boy and Bracky, so no triggers. Now making Rob's hand, pushing Rob's hand up to 3 but having no real defensive power. But I think activating the Bull Spike effect to draw a card, from what I understand, and he's picking one of the rearguards to retire. And yeah, as we expected, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Voltage, just to know that Alex extends the next turn. No, Rob chosen to retire one of the Chitores. So I guess that might be because there's 1 in damage and there's already 2 on field, so maybe Rob's not too scared of too many extension coming from Alex the next turn. And he would rather not have to deal with the on-hit effects, as he's be looking for some damage triggers, possibly. Oh. I wonder what the confusion is about. They have reversed back to Alex's guard step. And I think this is because the double red grade 3 also increases the Vanguard's power, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think that might be why. Because I think the double red grade 3 increases the power, which would mean Alex would have to discard more for 2 to pass. However, if Alex wanted to counter that, he could choose to have a judge call here, and because both the players have agreed upon the power beforehand, I would have to rule it in Alex's favor. Meaning Alex would not be forced to call down any more cards for 2 to pass. Now Rob will be swinging for 26. From what we saw, there is only... Sorry, 36. That's correct? 23... No, that should only be... That should be 36. I wonder how Alex chose... Alex guarded 33 here. Seems to be just some power confusions going on. This attack being 23, 36. Alex just sentineling. And yeah, this should be Alex's final turn here, going into it. Rob's hand is 1 unknown, 1 Bracky, and 1 Wonder Boy. No intercept in front row. Alex rewriting, getting another Excel marker, which will also mean an extra attack. So I think it might come down to Rob seeing defensive triggers here. I'm not sure about Alex's hand size. We did only see 1 Jaggy last turn, so he might be seeing some more Jaggies this time around. However, we do know that 3 Chitauri's are gone, and I think at least 2 of the grade 1. So I'm not quite sure how much Alex can really extend, even if he does show Jaggies, which he does. He places 2 of them, but at least that's still fine, since he does get to cycle his hand and just draw some extra cards. Comes the Choho. I assume no one plays effect from Alex once again. No, he's chosen against it. I guess he does not see that much value in the grade 1s. Now, will Alex use Vanquisher's effect here? I think he will. Which will force Rob to discard 1 of the cards in his hand. Which I assume would be the Bracky. Solid Cannon +1. Binds one of any player's rear guards, I think. So he'll probably be binding the Bull Spike, which, yeah, as we predicted. Then both the players will be binding a card from hand. Alex just showing that he has a grade 3 insult. Alex will be binding the grade 1, which will obviously be coming down onto the guard circle. And surprise, surprise, the unknown cards in Rob's hand was only an extra 5k shield. So we will be only... So Rob's hands does only have 15k shield power right now. Alex soul charging for the grade 1, soul charging a heal trigger. Not ideal, as he could have possibly healed out Phoenix here to be able to extend more attacks with the Jaggies. But yeah, I think it will be heavily just wherever Rob actually sees the triggers or not. I think Rob might have to see 2 triggers just because of the Vanquisher's 10k continuous to the front row. Alex deciding which unit to attack with first, and I think he's choosing the Choho. I think both the Jaggers might be attacking after the Vanguard swing, just in case he does get the last Chitauri. And Rob damage, not seeing a trigger here, which I think will mean game, unless we see a 6 damage heal, since currently 1 defensive trigger will not be enough. Voltage attacking. I think Alex will be just doing the effect, which is just a Soul Blast. If he has the Vanquisher Vanguard, draw a card, then bind a card. Just probably hoping to top deck maybe an extender. Still deciding. I think that's why Rob is waiting before he places a card down onto a guard circle. He chose to do it, so he's just going for the risk. So he draws a card, then binds a card, another heal trigger, so that's 1 in soul, 1 bound. Both of them would let him not let him extend here with the Phoenix, so that is quite unfortunate. Rob guarding the attack for 15. There was a 15k. I guess Rob's hand was 2 cards last turn then? Interesting. Oh, he's drawn an extra card from Bull Spike, so the crit trigger must have been the extra card he's drawn from it. With the Vanguard will attack 22, Rob not guarding, Alex getting the critical, giving the critical to Vanguard and power to the Jackie on the left side. And there comes another critical, so Rob will be needing a lot of heal triggers here. First check, heal trigger, not activating as Alex is on 5 damage. There was no heal there. I think Rob is just... Oh, I was about to message him, but there was no heal there. I think Alex has just corrected Rob. And that's the 6th damage, so we are going to be going into game 3 here. So far both players had a pretty good turn. I had a bit of a confusion on Alex's first grade 3 turn, since I didn't see a defensive trigger, so I thought Alex was misusing the 10k power he was getting, but it was my mistake. We have the commentator saying Alex is sucky. Yeah, I mean, top 4 cards of his deck were all triggers. He was 2 heal triggers and 2 crit triggers. The heal trigger would have led him to extend with the Phoenix, so I think heal trigger would have been equally as good as the crit trigger here, so either way Alex was like really safe this turn just to be able to push those multi attacks. Rob's only like saving grace being maybe hitting 2 defensive triggers. But yeah, the game obviously being heavily favored towards the player that's going first, as standard is anyway, but in this matchup specifically since both the decks explode on grade 3. So here, Rob, being the loser, getting to decide, will probably choose to go first. So we shall see if Alex is able to recover from going second. We shall see the mulligans. We knew that Rob's hand must have been quite good last time around, as it was. Purely because he's chosen not to mulligan much. And my guess would be Alex has drawn into all the Chitauris that he was looking for. Rob redrawing 2, if I'm correct? Yep. And Alex will be mulliganing 4. So we're on the hunt for 2 grades here. Now just shuffling the deck. I think the Vanquisher deck will be having a lot better recovery after the new stuff releases. Just purely because they won't have to go as much in, since they'll just be able to rewrite another Vanquisher from hand by binding it, which lets them get multiple Excel circles in a turn, and which will result in them just being able to maybe do more damage starving tactics and just going for like 1 10 OTKs, since they'll be able to have like 7, 8, maybe 9 attacks per turn, which opens a lot more possibilities for the Narukami players. But the game has started. Rob is just riding the double red grade 1, drawing for starter, then activating the grade 1 skill, which is to discard a card and draw a card, so just cycling, looking for the combo pieces. And I'm pretty sure it's down to Alex now. Yeah, Alex will draw for turn. Writing the Mighty Ball Dragoon. So I think we'll be seeing the starters effects first. So yep, draw a card, add a quick shield. Checking the top 5. Once again, Alex will ideally be looking to ride a Vanquisher called Jaggy, so we don't have a repeat of game 1, but the top 5 has failed. So we can only hope that Alex already has all the pieces he needs in his hand. Yeah, and this will just be attacking for 8. Rob probably choosing to just no guard this. Alex drive checking a Choho, which is quite alright. We at least know he has a guaranteed grade 2 right target. Because that could have been an issue since he did mulligan 4 cards in his opening hand. Yeah, no, this is the reason Rob chose to eat the first Vanguard attack from Alex, which is this grade 2. So on place, Vanguard Rearguard, cannon +1, grab a grade 3 from deck, and I think it's 10k. And the grade 2 would usually get boost as well. Is the 10k from Dragon's effect, or does the grade 2 also just give it an extra 10k? I think I might be wrong about the 10k effect on the grade 2. It's still a +1 regardless, because you do get to call a grade 3 out of deck, which is an extra filter and an extra attack for free. Well, kind of free, by C being 1. Both the players like to shuffle the deck a lot. I guess just the previous rounds has made them maybe a bit more traumatized. Is the deck upside down? No. Rob's webcam did go a bit grainy. He does have a tendency to do this, so I am trying my best to see what's happening on the stream. But Rob has called down the top 5 searcher, checking top 5. And not finding anything, or potentially finding a Juggernaut, and since he already has one on field, choosing to keep it there in deck. I do wonder if we will see Alex use the Chohu's effect to retire the Juggernaut his next turn. This is an attack for 23 if I'm correct, so Alex will probably no guard this, yep. Rob drive checking grade 1, and Alex damage checking a crit trigger, making the next swing only needing 10k to guard it, so there might be a Phoenix coming down if there is one in hand. Yep, as we predicted, there is the Phoenix. Phoenix is such a... It's crazy how good the Vanquisher deck has gotten, because in the current builds for VBT12, the Phoenix has been cut out, even though it's pretty much a free 10k shield, so... yeah. No skill of Choho to retire the Juggernaut. I'm not confident in this place, as we did see Rob drive checking the grade 1 double rare, which does let him put a grade 3 back to soul and search his deck for 2 grade 3s. So letting Rob have a grade 3 on field will mean that he's able to find all the combo pieces he needs for the Rising Nova turn. I guess Rob does not have any open damage, and the grade 1 does either Counter Blast. So Alex has just chosen to attack the Rearguard for 1 pass and no trigger. So Rob will be going into his grade 3 turn with no Counter Blast, meaning there will be no grade 1's effect to replace the Juggernaut for 2 grade 3s. It will also mean that if Rob does have the double rare grade 3, he will not be able to, on attack with Vanguard, restun one of his Rearguards. However, we can still see Bull Spike's effect in action, which is why I think damage starving the Spike player might not be the best play. But I guess in this case it might have just not mattered, as Alex just only had 9k, so he couldn't really hit over the 10k threshold. Now Rob activating the Juggernaut's effect, putting it into soul, grabbing another copy from deck, which will just give it an extra 10k, making the column that much scarier. while fueling the soul for the bull spike effect. Alex is just confirming as to what's happening from what I see. Now Rob ideally is looking to call down a bull spike, since he could still use the effect. But wow, the lack of counter blasts, which made Rob unable to use the grade 1, has resulted in him not having actually any of the grade 3s he needed. So yeah, Alex will be eating the swing, as this was only 1 damage for 23. No damage trigger checks, now the Vanguard will attack. He might choose to let this one go through as well, and then just opt to guard the last attack, which has 2 criticals on it. It's deciding here. I think that might have been a no, since that was only 1 card. No, just does 20k in a quick shield, which will make it 34 to Rob's 26. Which would be 1 to pass. But I guess there was some misunderstanding about the power. Yeah. I guess they agreed upon some different powers, so the attack did not go through. And this last attack will be hitting for 43 to critical, which Alex will just no guard. No triggers, so ideally he was looking maybe for some draw triggers here or heals, just to negate some of the damage. So first grade 3 turn, regardless of not being able to use the Rising Nova skill, he was still able to plus quite a lot. Not plus, sorry, it was able to push quite a lot. Just of the big columns that the Juggernauts provide. And now going back to Alex, we see him misriding, so we're having a repeat of game 1, where he has to ride the Jaggy. So that, once again, quite unlucky. Especially since I am confident that we did see him ride the top 5 Searcher on grade 1. So it does feel quite heavily like the repeat of game 1. If we see another Jaggy, if we do, ideally he calls it on the right side, so we're mirroring game 1 Choho, which I think we did see game 1. Once again, I think opting not to choose the bind skill. I think at this point Alex has just forgotten about the about Choho's bind skill, and it's just looking at it as a restander. Otherwise, I think some of these turns the extra bind would have been quite nice. Calls a Zutan out as well, which will be getting power when the Jaggy binds one of the Great Threes. And here comes a Voltage as well, which will hopefully let him extend a bit more. Maybe he has a Chitauri in hand. Actually no, because Voltage skill does require him to have a Vanquisher Vanguard. So I hope there is no issue. Oh. And I'll be... just to meet myself. Alex, correction, the Vanguard, to use Voltage skill you have to have a Vanquisher Vanguard. I think Alex will now reverse his place, as he's realized that he's unable to actually activate the Voltage effect. I am trying to look out for any mistakes of this. As little illegal play as possible, hopefully. So I think with that change, it's just gonna be Choho attacking first. Attacking the rear guard here. Yes, I think Alex did forget that the Choho can bind, since instead of attacking he could have just bound for cannon +1. Which I think in this case he could have definitely spared the resource for it. As nothing else this turn will be counter blasting. Apart from the end of battle restand for Choho. Now I think it will be Jaggi. Which ideally looking to bind the grade 1 here just for an extra booster behind the voltage. So obviously he binds the Jaggi, binds the grade 1. You could have chose to cover behind the voltage, as Zutan would have gotten 5k power from the extra bind. So this time he didn't forget to draw for Jaggi, so that's good. And then Soul Charge a Phoenix for the grade 1. Rob choosing not to cut, drive check being critical trigger, and second check being a grade 1. I do not know what the power went, however. Rob saying no trigger. Making all these small columns still be able to hit. I think Rob hand might be 4 or 5 at this point as well. There is one of the weaknesses that the Rising Nova deck does have, which is that it does not maintain hand well. Yep, they'll be attacking for 14. Well, it might not be 24, because that might have been what got in the trigger. And that will actually be 22, but I'm not sure if Alex remembers about the 5 kill on Zutan. I think he is, because he is now adding up the powers. Rob getting pushed up to 4 here. Alex could push the Zutan to Soul to draw an extra card, as Rob does not have front row ray cards, but he has chosen against it, I guess. It is an optional skill, so Rob calling down the Bull Spike, then calling down the grade 1, transforming the Bull Spike into probably another Bull Spike in a double rare grade 3. And I think the small flicker from Alex was him just signaling that he's forgotten to draw for the Zutan's effect. Yep, Roran calling out using the grade 1 effect to exchange the Bull Spike for another Bull Spike in the double rare grade 3. So now the Rising Nova turn. So now the Rising Nova is copying both the effects that he wants. And also filling up the Soul by putting in the Bull Spike into Soul. So Rob has, I think, 1 or 2 cards in hand at this point. So there possibly might not be a booster, so some of the numbers might not go as high. Definitely not as good as the game 1 where he was able to rewrite the Rising Nova and then able to move the force markers around. Yep, so that'll be the first attack. Alex being at the awkward interval of 4, he cannot eat any of these as they all will have the force 2 marker on it. Unless he is risking for a heal trigger. Alex just confirming powers from what I can see. I'm also listening to the OST in the background. Some of these songs I do not remember. Alex still deciding how to guard this. Yep. That'll be 27 to Rob's 23. Rob activating Bull Spice effect. Drawing a card and retiring one of the rear guards as the attack the unit as Force Mark on did not hit. That was a bit of a voice crack there. Alex now just explained the effects on both the cards, so Rob can, since Rob is deciding which one is going to be retired here. And Rob has chosen on the Choho. Attacking with the other column, going to be able to move the force markers around once again, which will make this another 3k swing. So Alex will need another 15k. Yep, here it comes down. Interestingly enough, if Alex does take any damage this turn, we would be able to see what he would have drawn off Zutan, and whenever it would actually affect the game or not. Vanguard attacking using the double red grade 2 effect, double red grade 3 effect to canvas 1 restun the rear guard, so he'll be restunning the bull spec, which still has a booster behind him. Alex nulling the Vanguard attack. Drive trigger check. Grade 2 no trigger. Second check being a heal trigger, and Rob will be able to heal. Pretty sure they're just confirming between each other now. Yep, giving the power to Bull Spike. And Rob will recover a point of damage here. Which might be significant as it will give Rob more damage checks for next turn if Alex does live this. And this will be the last attack of the turn, which will be 21, 31, 41, 2 critical. So Alex will need another 30k shield here. I think that might be it. Unless Alex has a decision to make as to what he wants to discard. Nope, that's 2 crit triggers, that'll be 30k power, 30k shield, which guards him for this turn. And I'm not sure if Alex has any cards in hand remaining now. So even though he did live Rob's turn, he will have a hard time coming back here. And I think that's it, I think that's the only card in his hand. Best possible draw here would probably be Vanquisher if I had to guess. Be Vanquisher into draw Chitauri. That would maybe give him a fighting chance. It is another voltage which he's not able to use, as he's not on Vanquisher. So he'll just be attacking for 14. Rob's hand having at least a heal trigger, so definitely some shield power here. And robbing, in addition to all of that, Rob hitting a defensive trigger, being the drawing an extra card. So this game does definitely look bleak to Alex. Bleak for Alex. Once again, just misriding, which has left him Why are both the grade 3s bound? That's interesting. Not quite sure, which has left him obviously unable to do any big plays last turn. Sorry, I couldn't finish my point. So I'm just confused about some things on the screen. Oh wow, and interestingly enough, if Alex has actually chosen to draw Zutan of last turn, he would have drawn the Voltage, which would have resulted in a top deck Vanquisher, and then being able to call the Jaggy, which could have resulted in some real possibilities here. So the extra draw missed from Zutan might have been the difference this game. But yeah, that was both the drive checks. No triggers. Rob obviously guarding that. I think he's dropped an extra 5k for that. No, I think Rob has just chosen to guard because he was already 2 to pass. So yeah. Rob calling down the grade 2, which will let him grab a grade 3 from deck. I'm not I think at this point he might call the double rare grade 3, yeah, as I don't think he has enough soul to really justify picking up Bull Spike. I've just got I was just told that the OST that I'm listening to, or at least I was listening to previously, is from the Messiah movie. I did watch that movie, but that was very much no card fight movie. It was more like a I Hate Vanguard or action kind of film. So it's a great film, but it just wasn't like a good card fight movie, I guess. And the introduction it did for the for G series was it was questionable. Purely because the Messiah obviously never ended up really seeing any play, being a vanilla. So I think the unit might have should have maybe had a bit more powerful skill. But coming back to Rob's turn, Rob actually has a Bull Spike and a double rare grade 3, so he's once again able to copy everything. However, there is no soul. Alex's hand being 2 grade 3s, he will have to eat this and hope for a heal trigger. And he actually gets it. That's the 6 damage heal. Wow, okay. I don't think Rob is able to move force markers around. So this might be actually going somewhere with the 2 interceptors. Rob will be able to, that's 26. This might be coming down to a trigger from Rob as Alex. Let's see, Alex would have to intercept this. No. Alex will still be a 5k shield short. I think he'll be needing to see another heal trigger here, as that column is also 23. So he can 1 pass this, guard the other column. Yeah, but Rob, it was 1 to pass. Rob sees the crit trigger. And I'm not confident, and I don't think there's enough heal trigger in Alex's deck to keep him alive. Yeah, Alex seeing a draw trigger and then a heal trigger. So yeah. So, seeing a draw trigger, then drawing for the draw, seeing a voltage. So that's the game. I'm gonna actually go and talk to them now, see what they thought about the game. Let's mute the music. Let the players talk. Oh. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Oh no. Game 1, why did I misplay Jaggy the entire time?
Yep, I did mention that.
That's how I died.
Yep.
I didn't hear you say that in the game 1. I only saw you in game 2.
I didn't see you I didn't actually see you misplaying. I just thought maybe you did, purely because your hand was so low.
Yeah, that's what I thought something was wrong. When I did was telling like my hand low, this is right. Then I realized Jaggy. Oh, that's probably why I lost grade 1 or turn 1.
Interestingly enough, all the games you could have had, those 2 games where you could have had stronger turns if you actually used Choho on place effect to bind one of Rob's great.
I mean, it's just because I had a little bind already, though.
I mean, I think game 2 that would have been a 10, but that actually would have pushed you to 3 binds a turn out and attack earlier if you bound it.
Maybe.
Because you were able to go Choho into then Jaggi, bind one from hand.
Jaggi gains power from it.
Yeah, so that would have been 3, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely stupid for the other turn where I had to overcall at grade 1 because I was thinking of multi-attack and then realizing it was dumb midway through the battle phase and then saw everything that was wrong of the turn.
Yeah.
I hated that feeling of like...
The 7k was also... Actually, interestingly enough, the last game, because I was paying attention to that, because you forgot to draw Zutan of the grade 2.
I can't remember. I have to be a thingy for it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Read on it. It says if your opponent has no formal riggers, he goes to soul and draw a card.
I swear it says if your thingy is it just Jaggi that can't do that then?
Yep.
I swear it was both.
No, because that card is meant for that card is meant for Gauntlet Buster in the first place. It has nothing to do with Vanquisher.
I'm trying to find it. It's shoved at the very fucking bottom. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I just mixed them up with Jaggi.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, the way the game could have gone is... so I was paying attention to the last few turns. The way the game could have gone is... If you drew an extra card from there, right?
Yeah.
You'd have pushed your deck at one deck further in.
Well, further in, and I could have seen the heel tricks.
Yeah, so you would have seen the... So then for 10, you would have actually drawn the Vanquisher, the one you drove check, and the Vanquisher would have got you the Jaggi.
Yeah, which would have gotten me the game.
Then
well, maybe not the game, but would have pushed his hand to make.
Yep. Then you could have
increased my hand up to. I had 3, I think it was. So I would have gone up to 4, maybe 5, assuming Twin Drive was dry.
Yeah, no. But you let me finish. I can explain to you how the game would have gone. So then you do that. Then you use Vanquisher skill. You bind the card from his hand. You would have called the Jaggi down, so you don't have to bind anything from your hand. So now you have 2.
Yeah.
Then you also bind one of his front row rear guards. Then, because you would have called the Jaggi down, but you would have had no hand for that turn, correct?
No, I think that was it.
And then you would have
I think I had a straight trigger, maybe.
Yeah.
But...
And then you would have also drawn the voltage, so you would have had the voltage and the Jaggi, I think. Then the drive check would have been a heal trigger into a draw trigger.
Yeah, which would have.
No, sorry. The drive check would have been into. Would have been into a grade 1. No, it would have been a grade 1 into the heal, which would have healed you back down to 4. And then coming into Rob's turn, we could have guarded the 2 damage swing, ate the side swing that was only 1 damage, hit the draw trigger, which would have drawn you an extra card, and I think that might have pushed the game in your favor, and you could have actually lived Rob's last turn. So essentially, the way your deck was positioned, the one draw of Zutan would have changed the whole game state. So yeah, I was just paying attention to that because I think that was kind of a big deal here.
Yeah, that's upsetting. I thought it was the same as the other. I guess I need to actually use this deck enough to remember all the card effects, because I play it once off and then forget something. Yeah,
another play was turn you attack the rear guard on grade 2. You could have used a Choho skill to bind the Juggernaut when you placed on Vanguard.
I suppose, but I did just attack both.
What do you mean attack both?
I'm pretty sure I just hit them both or bind them both or something like that.
No, you attack and you missed the attack, which
I mean, I was trying to. I mean, one of the turns I was intentionally damage starving him.
Yeah, that's correct, I guess, in that case. But you could have bounded and then hit Vanguard, and you would have still damaged.
If it was his first grade 3, I was intentionally damage starving him.
Yeah, it's just Rob's deck can. I guess he didn't have damage in this case, but I'm not sure if you're aware of this. But the grade 1 can exchange his grade 3 for 2 grade 3s, and he did drive check the grade 1 the turn before.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't actually. I didn't see it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's. I mean, Rising Nova isn't that popular of a deck, so I don't think everyone's aware of what all the cards do. But I'm just mentioning it. Any input from Europe? I think you had pretty good games. You saw all the grade 3s you needed most of the games.
Yeah, the last round of the last turn, my final turn of the first game, I almost thought I screwed up badly because I've got to use Wonder Boy's ability, which would have given me a card in soul to be able to move.
I was probably
my cards. Nothing.
I did not have that much cards, so that 5k probably.